Welcome, my name is Azad Lassiter with the Next Step Ministries Construction Department. Today we're going to be working on a bathroom remodel, and I'm going to show you almost everything that you'll need to know when you do your bathroom remodel. As you can see, I've already gotten started without you guys, but I just want to go over some of the things that you'll need to do to get started. As you can take a look at the floor, I've already demoed the floor, and depending on what floor you have, it'll be pretty easy, or it could be a lot harder. Ours is just some vinyl floor, and we ripped it up really quick. As you can see, I've already gotten into the drywall. This will be a decision that you guys will make a little bit farther into the process, whether you want to keep the drywall, whether the drywall comes out, and we'll talk about that a little bit more. And then I've already removed all of the trim around the building. We had some wood trim that came up here, went all the way around. It looks very similar to the stuff on the doors. That all came out, and we're actually saving it just in case it needs to go back in. From here, our next step is to work on the bathroom and this tub. And so, as you can see, this was the existing tub surround, and I already took out some of the old stuff off camera. And so our next step is here. As you can see, we have some areas that are pretty tough where we've got our plumbing. And so what I always say is just be careful around the plumbing. You don't want to damage any of the structure. On your remodel, you might be replacing the entire plumbing, or you might be keeping it. And so that's what I would say is stay safe and work around it very carefully. The first thing we need to do before we mess with any of this, though, is go downstairs and find out where our water is. We have to turn off all of our shutoffs. I like to turn off the main water and everything so that when we take this stuff off, water doesn't come gushing out. Alright guys, well, we're looking for our main water shutoff, and so yours could be anywhere. It could be under the house, it could be across the street, but this is really important to find. Lucky for us, we're in the basement right now, and we have this awesome looking cabinet where they have conveniently hidden the water shutoff. So this will shut off all of the water to the house, and so this is one of the steps that I'm gonna do to shut off the water. There's a few more steps just to be super safe and super secure, but this is one of the steps, is just shut off the water to the entire house. And you don't have to do this depending on your homeowner and where you're working. They may want to use another bathroom, but for us, we're just going to shut off all the water just to be safe. You want to be careful with these because they have the tendency to break, or if they're old, they could rust. And so I'm just going to hand tighten it. And that's about it. So we're going to close up this nice looking cabinet and move on to our other shutoff points. Alright, so now we're in what we could call the boiler room of the house. And so I'm taking the extra step to turn off some other valves. So you'll see up here, these valves go to the shower, which is the area we'll be working on next. And some of you might be saying, why don't you just turn off the shower ones and leave the other ones on? Well, we're going to be cutting these off pretty soon because sometimes these break. And so last time I was working on my shower, I turned these off and they didn't quite turn off all the way. There was still a little bit of a trickle coming out. So that's why I went with the extra step and shut off all of the water. So here I am. I'm just going to turn this off. This should be the hot water for the shower. And it's kind of very similar style turn off here. I'm just slowly tightening it. And like I said, you want to be pretty careful with these. I've seen them break, and that would be really bad. And so here I am, turning off the cold water now. And like I said, the reason I'm doing this in addition to shutting off the water valve is I know that these are bad. I've experienced them leaking when I was working on the shower before, and so that's why I had to shut off the water main as well. Our next step is going to be turning off the hot water heater. So like I said, this is kind of another extra step that you might not need to do in your house, but it is pretty simple. So here's my hot water heater, this big old guy, and it could look different in your house. You could have a really small hot water heater, or you could have an even bigger one than this. But here I am. This is going to be the water, the hot water coming out. And so I can feel that because it is slightly hot. There's also a little red cap over here that says hot. And so I'm just going to shut this off. And that's it. All of our water should be turned off to the entire house. And like I said, this is a safety thing. I don't want to cut into a pipe and have water burst out and get water everywhere. That's why I've turned off the water main are 2 shutoffs to the shower and the hot water heater. So now all the water should be turned off in the entire house. Okay, so our last step in turning off the water is to check to see if the water is off. So here I am, I'm at a sink over here, and typically what people will tell you is to find the sink or the spot where the water is the lowest in your house. And so if you can imagine your pipes full of water going up 2-3 stories, all of the water then should drain out of the lowest point. And so that's what we're trying to do here. This is one of the lowest sinks in the house. And so I'm basically going to turn on the hot water, let all the water drain out, and then I'm going to turn on the cold water and let all the cold water drop out. So here we go. Let's see. Hopefully everything should work and no water should come out except for a little bit. So there we go. No pressure in the hot water. And there, no hot water. Cold water, same thing. Cold water is typically a little bit harder, and sometimes you get drips for long. There's a lot more cold water in your house, and it can drip a lot longer. But hopefully, we're gonna get no water. This doesn't drain all your pipes, but it does get a lot of the pressure out of the pipes as well. It drains as much water as it can. But whenever I go into a faucet or wherever I'm working, I always turn on that faucet and try to drain all the water if I can. So I'm just going to leave this guy on. It'll drain more water, and then we'll go work on the upstairs. Thanks for watching our video. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button so you can get updated on all our newest videos. Also, go ahead and click the links below so you can see our social media profiles as well as our website.